Well, here we are for the third chapter of our fine book and the third episode of Story Time. Last time we found out a little bit more about our protagonist as an adult. And now we're gonna find out some more stuff about his life that I'm sure is very fascinating. Alright. Chapter 3. Anymore, when I go to visit my mom, I don't even really pretend to be myself. Hell, I don't even pretend to know myself very well, not anymore. My mom, it's like her sole occupation at this point is losing weight. What's left of her is so thin that she has to be like a puppet or something. Some kind of special effect. There's just not enough of her yellow skin left to fit a real person inside. Her thin puppet arms hover around on the blankets, always picking bits of lint. Her shrunken head will collapse around the drinking straw in her mouth. When I used to come as myself, as Victor, her son, Victor Mancini, none of those visits lasted 10 minutes before she'd ring for the nurse and tell me she was just too tired. And then one week, my mom thinks I'm some court-appointed public defender who represented her a couple of times, Fred Hastings. And her face opens up when she sees me, and she lies back into her stack of pillows and shakes her head a little, saying, "Oh, Fred." She says, "Oh, my fingerprints were all over those boxes of hair dye. It was reckless endangerment, open and shut, but it was still a brilliant socio-political action." And I tell her, that's not how it looked on the store's security camera. Plus, there was a kidnapping charge. It was all on videotape. And she laughs. She actually laughs and says, "Fred, you were such a fool to try and save me." And she talks that way for half an hour, mostly about that misguided incident with the hair dye, and then she asked me to bring her a newspaper from the day room. In the hall outside her room is some doctor, a woman in a white coat holding a clipboard. She has, it looks like, a long dark hair twisted into the shape of a little black brain on the back of her head. She's not wearing makeup, so her face just looks like skin. A pair of black framed glasses are folded and sticking out of her chest pocket. Is she in charge of Mrs. Mancini, I ask? The doctor looks at the clipboard. She unfolds the glasses and slips them on and looks again, the whole time saying, "Mrs. Mancini, Mrs. Mancini, Mrs. Mancini." She keeps clicking and unclicking the ballpoint pen in one hand, and I ask, why is she still losing weight? The skin along the parts in her hair, the skin above behind the doctor's ears, is as clear and white as the skin behind the other tan lines must look. If women knew how their ears come across, the firm, fleshy edge, the little dark hood at the top, all the smooth contours coiled and channeling you to the tight darkness inside, well, more women would probably wear their hair down. Mrs. Mancini, she says, needs a feeding tube. She feels hunger, but she has forgotten what the feeling means. Consequently, she does not eat. And I say, "How much is this tube going to cost?" A nurse down the hall says, "Paige." This doctor looks at me in my breeches and waistcoat, my powdered wig and buckle shoes, and she says, "What are you supposed to be?" The nurse calls, "Miss Marshall." My job, it's too hard to explain here. I just happen to be the backbone of early colonial America, which is, she says, an Irish indentured servant, I say. And she just looks at me, nodding her head, and then she looks down at the chart. "Well, it's either we put a tube in her stomach," the doctor says, "or she'll starve to death." And I look into the dark secret insides of her ear, and I ask if maybe we could explore some other options. Down the hall, the nurse stands with her fist planted on her hips and shouts, "Miss Marshall!" And the doctor winces And she holds up an index finger to stop me talking. And she says, listen, I really do have to finish rounds. Let's talk more on your next visit. And then she turns and walks the 10 or 12 steps to where the nurse is waiting. And she says, Nurse Gilman. Her voice rushed and the words crushed together. You can at least pay me the respect of calling me Dr. Marshall, she says, especially in front of a visitor, she says, especially if you're going to shout down the length of the hallway. It is a small courtesy, Nurse Gilman, but I think I have earned it. And I think if you start behaving like a professional yourself, you'll find everyone around you will be a great deal more cooperative. By the time I get the newspaper from the day room, my mom is asleep, her terrible yellow hands are crossed on her chest. A plastic hospital bracelet heat-sealed around one wrist. Well, that was a short but excellent chapter. Hopefully next time we'll have just as enjoyable of a time with our wonderful protagonist, Victor. I hope you all enjoyed our story time together as much as I did. And I'll see all of you next time.